What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at the Louisville Multiple Playbook in College Football 26. This is one of my favorite playbooks in the game. EA calls it multiple. I think it's a little more pro style than anything else. I think the reason why they call it multiple because it's got just a great variety of formations, but I think it's got a pro style heart and feel to it. And Jeff Brom, he's just one of my favorite play callers. If I was Penn State, I'd give him a call. A couple other of these schools probably need to talk to him as well. I don't know if he'd ever leave Louisville because that's where he went. But either way, he is a Bobby Petrino disciple. If anybody kept up or played with the Arkansas playbook, you kind of know what to expect here. But there's just a little bit more variety in the looks. I think that's what really separates this playbook. But this is a really big playbook, like 450 plays or close to it. We're going to look at all of it. We're going to go look at the formations, concepts, play types, personnel, and players. And hopefully by the end of the video, you have a good idea of what this playbook is all about. So Jeff Brom, again, I think this is a pro style attack, and the variety of formations here, I think you're really going to enjoy. And it's going to coincide with all the different types of personnel groupings too. But let's start with formations. As you can see here, we got shotgun, we got pistol, we got some single back, we got some I formation. Now you're going to see a lot of the same concepts in all four of these areas, but that's the point of it. Just give the defense a bunch of different looks, but it's still same to you as a play caller. Let's start off with the shotgun. The bulk of your work will come from here. Starting off, we got gun split pro near. I've done an H-back video not too long ago. This one can be considered as one, but it's still kind of like just a basic two-back look with two receivers on either side. Then we get into gun ace. This is our first two tight end look of the day. You're going to see several of these formations. You got 12 plays there. And then we got wing halfback weak close. This is a trips look, a 3x1. And then we got wing slot offset. So you're moving your two receivers to one side, the two tight ends to the other. And then we get doubles Y off. So just go back briefly. Look at these two tight end looks. We got 1, 2, and 3. And trust me, that's more than what you would ever need, but we got more in pistol and single back. So if you want to do a lot of two tight end looks out of the gun, you're going to have some fun with these particular formations. You notice the play count, 18 and, 18, and again, just a really good collection of things. But now we're going to get into 11 personnel. As with most playbooks in this game, 11 personnel is the base for a lot of these offenses, and we have doubles Y off, just a 2x2 look with a tight end off the line. Then we got doubles Y flex offset. So if you want to get your tight end out in the slot, there you go. Then we also have doubles Y off weak, which is just the weak version of that. And then we also have Y off trips. So you're going to see a lot of trips looks in this playbook. Plenty of 2x2s, but a ton of 3x1s. This one's got 21 plays. I'll go ahead and tell you now, 11 personnel is the base of this offense, and there tends to be a little bit more trips formations than 2x2s. So you may want to build everything off of this formation in particular as you go through here to see some of what we got. We're going to cover all of the concepts here shortly, but I just kind of want to point out this is going to be a really good base formation for you to work off of, and I would definitely put doubles Y off in there with it, and then you just kind of work off of that, just depending on your roster. But I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so that's our first 11 personnel trips looks, and then we got Y off trips weak. You're just moving that halfback over to the left. Then we got Y off trio weak. You're just moving the slot receiver up the line, and you're taking the Z receiver number 2 off of it. And then we got trips tight end offset weak. I love those full trips looks. Those are really fun. Then we got spread Y slot. You're going to spend a lot of time with this formation as well, just basic 2x2 with your tight end out there. And then we got spread double flex. So notice with this formation, look at the package at the bottom. Twin tight end slot. That is technically, according to this playbook, the go-to package. I don't know. I don't watch Louisville enough like this season. I don't know if he's got his two tight ends doing a lot of this stuff right here. But if you go through all these other formations, it's the default package. But in this one, it goes straight to twin tight end slot. So if you wanted to go back to the true package, you will have to go through here and go to this one, where it puts your third receiver in the slot on the left. So I just wanted to point that out. The main one, though, is apparently this particular sub-package. So kind of keep that in mind. This is a fun two tight end offense. Trips Y slot strong. So we have another trips look with the tight end in the slot. Then we got Trey open halfback strong. You're just moving the tight end on the line, 18 plays there. Then we got Trey open. Then we finally get into an empty look, empty Trey flex with 12 plays there. So I guess the big thing here with the gun formations is it's just 2x2s, 3x1s. It just depends if you got to get your second tight end out there, use these formations. But I think a lot of your work is going to come from this stuff right here. My guess is like 80% of the offense that they run is a lot of this stuff right here. And I think it's really cool. You can get your tight end out in the slot and get him off the line every so often. You got plenty of options to do that. So those are all the shotgun formations. Again, we'll cover the plays in the concepts section. But let's talk about pistol. If you go here, look how many pistol formations we got. Like 9 or so. A really good collection. Starting off, full house tight end. I think they call this a 22 personnel set. It just depends if they consider that a fullback or a tight end. But full house tight end, 6 plays there. Great for third and fourth and short. Good situational. Goal line possibly if you're into that. Again, there's only 6 plays here, as you can tell. It's just run and a little bit of play action, even an RPO built in there. Next up, we got strong tight, another bigger formation. This is 22 personnel set with the 2 backs and 2 tight ends. I think 83, they have him as the number 1 fullback. Then you got basic ace. So notice with ace, if you go back up to gun, we have this. So you're going to notice the gun version. Then you're going to have the pistol version. Then you go to like the single back, you may see something similar. We'll check that here in a minute. But again, it's just showing a bunch of different looks at a defense. But you got ace, just 2x2 with the 2 tight ends. Then you got wing close, which I'm not mistaken. You go over here. Then we have a wing close. Yep, we had a halfback wing close. Again, same thing. So you keep going. We have basic wing. Again, more 2 tight end love. Then we got wing slot. Guess what? More 2 tight ends. Then we got doubles Y off stack. Then we get doubles Y off. Then we go back to full house tight end. So you notice the bulk of these pistol formations are very similar to the gun versions. It just, if you need more verticality in your run game, you may want to do a bit more out of pistol. Okay, and as you expect, a lot of these pistol formations, it's going to have your basic run, play action, drop back, and nothing too out of the ordinary. But again, a great collection of pistol to complement the gun. But we also got plenty of under center fun. Single back. You notice here we got 3 formations. Starting off bunch X nasty. 11 personnel with a 3x1. That's actually our first compressed set. I don't know if anybody's noticed. We didn't have too many compressed sets. We had a close. I don't think we even had a tight or a bunch the rest of the way. I think the rest of it was just basic 3x1. And of course, you got bigger formations here, but at least you got a compressed set with bunch X nasty. Then we got basic doubles. That look pretty similar to some formations we saw in the gun and in pistol. And we got basic Y trips. This is old school stuff right here, these 2 formations. So those are your 3 single back, but notice these are all 3 wide receiver looks. So don't expect any 2 tight end stuff right here, unless there may be a couple sub packages if you needed to use them. Then we got some I formation. This is getting more old school. So if you remember Louisville back in the mid-2000s when Bobby Petrino was there, that's when Jeff Brom, I think he graduated shortly after that. His younger brother, the offensive coordinator, Brian Brom, was coaching or was a quarterback. They ran a ton of stuff like here. So this is, again, more old school. I Pro, 18 plays. Then you got I slot. You're just moving that receiver over. Then you got I tight, 18 plays. So 18 plus 18 plus 12 gives you plenty of I formation if you need it. And as you expect, a lot of this is just basic run play action, nothing too out of the ordinary, but some really cool things built into it. You're going to notice a lot of those out routes here real shortly. So that is it for the formations. It's just a great collection. I love this type of offense. Just throw the defense some different looks. Make them think of things, even though it may be very simple to you on the front end in terms of picking your plays. I want to talk about personnel next. We've already hinted at some of this. Let's start at the very bottom. We have an 0-1 personnel. So this is the only maybe little downside, in my opinion, to this playbook. There's not enough 4 wide receiver. Every now and then I need to get some 4 wide receivers out there if I got the roster for it. We got 1 empty Trey flex. There's only 12 plays here. As you would expect with any empty formations, just a ton of passing and various concepts. But then you go straight into 11. So there's no 10 personnel. Again, that's not the end of the world. You got more than 11 personnel than what you would ever need, as you can see right here. I mean, again, the whole offense is built off of this entire personnel grouping. But this is one of the big strengths of this playbook. If you got a good second tight end, you got a ton of fun formations to use, a ton of fun plays. I mean, just a lot better. It was a better collection than I expected when I was doing my research on this playbook. Then we got some good 21 personnel. You got, I don't know, 3 or 4, not too bad there. We even got some 22 personnel. Again, good for your 3rd and 4th and shorts, goal line, whatever you want to use. Then your 23 is your goal line, your 32 is your QB nil. So I just wanted to point out the personnel, a great variety, especially with your 2 backs, your 1 backs. I just wish I had just a little bit more 4 wide receiver, but other than that, it's pretty much a flawless playbook from that standpoint. Now let's talk about actual plays. Before we look at the concepts, I want to go over to favorites. This is where I highlight all the motion plays. This is all the motion. You're going to see a lot of jet sweep. So keep this in mind, a ton of jet sweep, whether it's from the shotgun or it could be from the pistol. It could be from under center. I mean, there's just a ton of it. Just notice the theme here with all of these plays. Jet sweep, more jet sweep. Every now and then you may have like a pulling tight end, like you see with motion halfback zone week. I haven't picked a play yet. Let's go ahead and do that. So you're going to see some of this right here to go with it. Of course, there'll probably be a play action play built off of this one. Not a bad little play there. But again, I think the bulk of your motion, if you're going to use much of it, and 63 is a pretty good number, more than what you would ever need. It's going to be a lot of this jet sweep, whether again it's from under center or pistol or what have you. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. Just a ton of jet sweep. You do got a couple other things as well if you need it, but you're going to see a lot of this jet PA sprint right, a ton of play action, which we'll get into here shortly. Again, just a lot of fun motion, but again, it's very simple motion, just classic jet sweep for like 85% of the playbook. Now let's talk about actual plays. I'm going to go over to concepts. And you notice here, I think probably maybe another strength to this playbook is the amount of basic runs that you have. The run game here is fantastic. I mean, I can't find it anywhere. I mean, maybe the Michigan playbook is really strong or just as strong, but this one has a ton of great stuff. Let's start off with zone running. Let's go straight to inside zone. 42 plays. Whoo, nearly. Wow, that's just a ton of inside zone. More than what you would ever need. But again, this is a big playbook. It's got a lot of formations. So I expected plenty of inside zone, but 42, that's high even for that. So let's talk about its sister, outside zone. 20 of these. I love this. I love outside zone. I'm going to go ahead and call one. We're going to do one from like a flex look. These are a little bit harder to execute than the one if he was strictly to the side of the quarterback. I'm going to do this again. The edge got caught up there. Let's see if we can get a block on the edge. Get the outside. Get that. There we go. A little bit better. Either way, inside zone. Then you complement it with some outside zone. But 20 is a crazy high amount for most playbooks in the game. And you got plenty of options here, again, from pistol, from gun, under center, I formation, just kind of whatever you need. We also have draw. So there's going to be plenty of drop back. Again, Bobby Trino, he's always known for, a good drop back passing game. No different with Jeff Brom's playbook. You got 9 draws. That should tell you that you're going to do quite a bit of drop backs as well. So this will complement that. So that's more or less your zone running. Let's talk about power. This may be even more fun. Let's go straight to power. 23 power plays. Incredible amount. You got plenty of moving centers, guards, tackles. I mean, it's just all here. And how do you complement power? You go over to counter. 15 of these. Again, if you need a good collection of gap and zone running, you cannot do any better than this playbook. It's just incredible. I love it to death. But we got more. We got ISO. This technically isn't gap. This is more zone than anything else. This is the I formation stuff. But I just wanted to point out that we got 5 of those. Let's talk about some more gap. We got 6 sweeps. I'm a big sweep fan. I love tosses. I'm going to call this crack toss. Been a while since I called one of these. Let's see if we can get a good block or two on the right side. Get to the edge. That's not the best block off the right side, but that's okay. Either way, toss is a lot of fun. There's not a lot of toss in this game in general. If you're going to find any type of toss, it's going to be some of these multiple and pro style playbooks. But you got 6 of those. You got a few traps. We've done a video on trap. I'm a big fan of it. So here's another fun part of the Jeff Brom offense, and it's the trick plays. And we're just looking at the runs here. We got 1 end around, which is just a basic reverse. I'm going to go ahead and call that. We'll see what this looks like. We got a basic reverse here, and this, you don't have to do anything special. He just hands it off automatically, and then you're just off to the races after that. Really cool there, but we're not done. We got a couple other ones to look at. Our next category is basic reverse. We got a DIY sweep reverse, which I'm not a fan of. You got to hit the button right at the perfect time or it's just not going to work. Then we got a pitch wide receiver reverse. Let's go ahead and call that. Let's go up against like nickel random. This is from Bunch Nasty. That's pretty cool. Now, you got to hope for some decent block. Of course, we didn't get that there. But again, that's just another fun little wrinkle. Throw a ton of different stuff at the defense. I've said that 3 times already, but I'm belaboring the point here. Just a lot of different things you can throw at a defense to confuse them. And then we have all the under center jet sweep. These are your run jet sweeps. We got 4 of these, and then we can go look a little bit later at some of the more passing ones from the gun and pistol. So again, the run game, it's insane. You got more than anything you would ever need. And if you expect a lot of running, that means we're going to see a lot of play action, which we'll check here in a little bit. So let's look at the option. This is not an option offense. I mean, you can see what few pieces of concepts we have here. 2 inverted veers. That's just a zone read with a pulling guard. You're pulling, I think you're reading the defensive tackle with those. Then you got just 14 read options. If you're going to do any option, it's all right here. Just basic read, whether it's from the gun, pistol, what have you. And we got a good collection of RPOs. Not the biggest amount, but a decent collection. We got 9 reads. A lot of variety here where it's like a Y flat or a basic bubble or a backside post. We also got 7 peaks. Not bad if you like that slot slant or a little dig or however you want to go about using those. And we got 14 alerts, which is pretty common. Basic bubbles, some shock if you need it. We got RPO power alert outs. Again, you're going to see the word out a lot in the passing game, which we'll look at here shortly. And we just got more bubbles. Don't pick this playbook to run RPOs. You got stuff in here, don't get me wrong. And definitely don't pick it because of the option. And this is not a weakness to the playbook. It's just they just don't need as much of it. You're going to do so much running from this section right here. You don't need much of this right here. But again, with all these RPOs, you can run just as much out of those as you could from your basic runs if you need it. Okay, but notice the count discrepancy, 130 to just 46. Now let's talk about the passing game. Quick passing, a good collection, over 40 plays to go through here. We got 4 Ohios. That's just your go out combo. And most of these are like really high too. Like you notice drive on the left at a gun wing slot offset. That dig is kind of steep. This is more of a quick passing concept. That play is not, per se. Again, sometimes EA organizes these a little bit weird. I think they just saw it go out and they just dumped it there. But again, when it comes to concepts, they move plays around and duplicate them in different sections. Here's a really fun one, Omaha. So if you go back, read Omaha, what's it say? Outrights by the outside receiver. You have 4 plays, you got 7 of them here. Tight end under, you got spacing, weak flood, wide shallow cross. Notice you got an outside receiver or both outside receivers running out routes. Bench is the classic term for that, by the way. If anybody, or some people call it Omaha, but bench is like the double outs, as you see right there. But then what do we look at in the RPOs? We saw double outs in a couple of those plays as well. Definitely highlight this. 7 is a crazy high number for this concept compared to slant. We got 16 of these, and we got 13 sticks. So slant and sticks going to be the bulk of your quick game. Don't get me wrong, but I highly recommend throwing some Omaha. There's so much of it in here. It wouldn't shock me if this playbook had more Omaha or any type of outside receiver out route than any other playbook in the game. It has to be the top 5 at least. Now let's talk about the deeper stuff. We got medium and deep. Notice the deep passing. We got a lot more than the mediums, but you still have 100 plays here. Starting off, you got 8 choice, just any type of play that's got an option route. They just dump it here. We got 15 curls. That's a pretty normal amount for a common medium pass concept like this. Pretty much is nothing but curl flats, if you've noticed, for the most part. And then we got 17 double moves. Now, this is not technically a concept, in my opinion. It's just a random route that's got a double move to it somewhere. Notice these 3 plays right here. Those are 3 completely different concepts, but again, they dump all the double moves here, and you got 17 of them. So what's really cool about this is, you can throw different routes at defenses that they may not be expecting. Look at this sticking up. That's a rare route there. The all go, that's a stutter step, and there's that stick and nod again. Look at that PA misdirection shot over here on the right. Just a goofy looking concept, but look, it's technically just PA rollout for the most part. Notice the line blocking. They're going to roll out with you, but look at the 2 outside receivers and those routes they are rolling with. Right there. I see he may be open. It's not a bad play. Either way, just a different look, which again, I like. Just so much variety in this playbook. And we barely scratched the surface of the passing stuff. So you got 17 double move plays. That's a whole lot. We got 3 drive. Let's see. There was the next high one. We got 10 shallow cross. I'm a big shallow cross fan. Bobby Petrino just lived and died off of this. This was like his main concept for the longest time. I'm sure he still uses it quite a bit. So it doesn't shock me that Jeff Brom has plenty of shallow cross to play with in this playbook as well. We got 9 slot cross. So you're starting to notice a little bit more air raid in this playbook. We saw stick earlier. Here we got some wide cross or a cross of some sort. Which these are very fun concepts as well, very easy to use. We got 20 smash, pretty common, you know, that's a decent amount, but notice we got a great variety here of classic smash, or you got some counter strike, or you may have some shock. Here's another fun one. I like some of the names of some of these plays. Sometimes you don't find these. Wide cop smash. I think that's pretty cool. Just smash on one side, and then you got another double move from the tight end. Again, pretty neat. We got 6 spot. This is technically Y corner for the most part, but it's still just a basic spot from your Z receiver. And then we got a couple of Texas plays. Just a couple there, usually just a halfback or a fullback running the angle route. So a good collection of mediums. I think the bulk of your work, though, is going to come from shallow cross, and just get comfortable with some of these double move plays. Again, there's a lot of variety here. Now let's talk about the deep pass. We got more stuff to look at here. 19 comebacks. All that curl we looked at, this is just deeper versions of it. Even notice, again, some of these plays aren't organized well, like PA boot left over here on the right. Do you see a comeback anywhere? I don't. But you still got plenty of comebacks everywhere else. And it's usually like a backside drive, or it could be like a flood on the other side. It could be a variety of things to complement that comeback. We got 4 daggers. I'm a big fan of dagger. They only have 4 of them in here. We got, let's say, our next higher one was flood. So this is a high number, 18. I highly recommend you do this. I think flood is great. Usually got like a backside man beater with a zone concept on the other side. And a lot of it's just pretty similar to each other. A lot of it's half field reads, which I really like. I think those are easy to implement. We got 20 verticals, and we got a great variety of verticals here. Like, I love this verticals from Gun Trips tight end offset wake. This is nasty stuff right here. So we got, we got a divide vertical concept up top, and then we got just, guess what? I see 2 out routes underneath it. What did I say earlier? Out routes are all over this particular playbook. Wide open, the halfback is going to pick up some easy yardage there. Again, really cool way to run verticals with some fun stuff to build underneath it. Okay, you just keep on going through here. Again, my favorite verticals are the ones that have at least a crosser to go with it, or a post, or just something to complement whatever is going deep above it. And as you can see, you got about whatever you need here. 20 is a great number for that. We got, let's see, I want to highlight meals. Meals is just your post and dig going in the same direction. You complement that with Portland. You got 6 of these. Then you got 23 shots. So when I think shot, I think of true PA shot. When I think shot, I think of play action, chucking it deep. So you're going to see a lot of shot this, shot that in this particular playbook, and 23 is a crazy high number. I want to go through, notice here, PA cards shot. This play is literally named specifically for this playbook alone. Again, the entire offense is run the ball, play action. Coming up, let's see if I can make this look halfway decent. No, I'm going to have to run with, let's see, I'm going to see if I can force. Nope, we're going to get that picked off. Either way, an awesome, cool play. But PA card shot, but look for the word shot in a lot of these plays in this section. You keep going through here. We got, let's say, PA post dig shot. We have, there was a few other ones. It was PA post shot, more PA post shot. But notice it's just a lot of post, deep crossers, things of that nature. This is a big part of their offense. I can't stress enough. All that fun run stuff we looked at earlier, you complement it with this stuff right here. Okay, now we got 6 switch if you like the post wheel or post dig combo, and then we got a couple wide cross. That just kind of goes with the slot cross ones we looked at earlier. It says we got 23 play actions. As we know, this is concept oriented. We got 8 boots. So this is another thing. You need to be mindful of concepts when it comes to all this play action. You got basic boot. This is where you got a tight end to the side, running to that spot, to that one side, as you see like with PA boot at a pistol wing. The tight end is going in the flat, but he is on that same side. Slide is the exact opposite. You go to slide, it's the tight end going to the opposite side. So it's still the same concept. It's still basic flood to either side. You're just moving that tight end around post snap. But we got 15 slides. That's a really high number, even for a play action heavy offense like this one. So again, prioritize these and throw in all that PA shot. That's your entire play action game. Boot, slide, shot, over and over and over and over again. Let's talk about screens. It says we only got 28, so the screen game is not the most important thing of this offense, but you got enough if you need it. We got 9 bubbles. We got 6 flankers. I love these, just to get to your top receivers, the ball more. Halfback slip screens, just a very simple way to get the ball to your halfback. And we got a mid screen. I want to point out the play types. The game, EA does a better job of organizing plays this way. There's just less sections to look through. But when you go to the pass, I want to point out this right here, quick pass. So all that under center jet sweep we looked at in the run concept section, we got 11 of these to go with it as well. Not all this is jet sweep, but you can see they put a couple sticks in here and whatnot. But I wanted to point out all these extra jet sweeps. So again, jet sweep is a big part of this offense. I also wanted to point out this right here. So what have I been talking about? Play action, run, play action, run, play action. When things are going well, the run game and the play action is part of that. Now you got all that fun drop back we looked at earlier, but I'm here to tell you 84 is a really high number. And you got so much fun play action to work with. You name it, it is here. If you want to run as close to an NFL offense as you can think, pick this playbook. It's incredible. I love it. We got those 23 screenplays we looked at earlier. These are your non-RPO based. And let's go to the runs. I do want to point out this right here, QB run. We got a handful. We got a motion QB sweep. We got a fake jet pass power and a halfback direct snap. This tells you, again, we don't run the quarterback much in this offense. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it out of the read option stuff. I do want to select this direct snap. Not a lot of playbooks have this, but it's in here if you need it. You know, if you just get a decent block or two from your linemen and receivers, but it's cool to have that. And I find it weird they always dump this in the quarterback run section, even though the halfback gets it, but that's just neither here nor there. Is that it? Again, option, there's just not enough here. You don't pick this offense to run option, and you really don't pick this playbook to run RPOs, even though you got a decent little collection there. But that is it for this offense. I do want to point out players. Yes, always use the player section. Just when in doubt, if you need to get the ball to your best player, go to this section, go find plays that just easily fit what you're trying to do. Now, the top player on this roster is apparently number 1, the halfback. It's the easiest way to get the ball to the halfback. You just run the ball. You know, you can also do those halfback screens and stuff, but this is the best place to go find easy stuff for your wide receivers and your tight ends. Like your number 1 receiver right here, this 0. Notice he looks to be the guy on the left side. We got 56 plays. Go look for those jailbreak screens, as you see right there. PA jailbreak screen on it. Guess what? Another play action. Pick those, you know, look for other like basic drags, or there's another screen right there. Just very simple routes. Like if it's been the second quarter and this guy hasn't got the ball, you need to have a couple plays in your favorites or however you want to organize it to where there's a good chance he's going to get it. Like for example, flanker cross at a pistol ace. I would highlight this because I know drags are a very easy way to get the ball, at least to force it on somebody. If I just need to pick up 3 yards to my best receiver, I can go with that play right there any day of the week. Okay, so you go through that, you do the same thing, and you go through all these other sections. So you go to these other receivers and other players. We got this other receiver. This is your guy on the right, the Z receiver. Same thing. Again, go find those screens. Go find jet sweeps like this one right here. Definitely use it if you just need to give him the ball, especially if he's like really quick and whatnot. And you can go look for your tight end. Go find some easy tight end stuff, whether it's like a basic drag or a screen of some sort. I think you get the point. Again, this is just a great section to find a random play that's just designed to go to a specific player. All right, I could talk about this playbook for another 30 minutes, but I think you get the point. It's an excellent pro-style playbook. Again, EA calls it multiple, but I think it's a pro-style playbook at heart with an amazing collection of run plays, a great collection of play action, and a nice hidden collection of just basic dropbacks. Again, it's just an awesome modern offense that's built around, you know, NFL concepts. I think you're really going to enjoy. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.